The flames licked up the edges of the leather-bound journal like hungry tongues, devouring secrets in a blaze that lit the garage like a funeral pyre. Levi's dad, face twisted in righteous fury, hurled the book into the rusted metal trash can, sparks flying as he muttered prayers under his breath. Prayers for his son's soul, or maybe just for the boy he'd lost to whatever demon had possessed him. But Levi, frozen in the doorway, 16 years old and tasting bile in his throat, watched the last page curl and blacken, the one that wasn't his at all, the one Isaiah had slipped inside like a promise sealed in ink. Levi's heart hammered against his ribs like it was trying to escape the chest it no longer fit in, the acrid smoke curling into his lungs as he choked out a single word. Dad. It wasn't a plea. Not really, just a gasp. Raw and ragged. The kind that echoes in empty houses long after the fire's gone out. His father, Harlan, didn't turn at first. He was a man built like the old pickup trucks rusting in the driveway, broad shoulders, calloused hands from years welding pipelines in the Texas oil fields they'd left behind when Levi was a kid. Now, in this cramped suburb of San Francisco where the fog rolled in like uninvited ghosts, Harlan stood silhouetted against the orange glow, his back a wall Levi had never breached. "You think I raised you for this?" Harlan finally snarled, spinning on his heel, eyes red-rimmed not from smoke but from the betrayal he'd unearthed. The journal had been tucked under Levi's mattress, a relic from the days when Levi still believed words could hold him together. Pages filled with scribbled confessions. The way his stomach flipped when Isaiah laughed in chem lab, the stolen glances in the locker room after swim practice, the ache of wanting something the Bible study group at church called abomination. Harlan had found it that afternoon, rifling through Levi's room in a paranoid fit after overhearing whispers from the neighbors about that queer kid down the street. And now, it was Ash. Levi lunged forward. Too late, his sneakers skidding on the oil-stained concrete. "Stop, please. That's mine." But the fire was merciless, the journal's spine cracking like bones under the heat. He clawed at the can's edge, burning his palm, but all he pulled out was a charred husk, pages flaking away like dead skin. Harlan grabbed his wrist, yanking him back with a grip that bruised. "Yours? This filth? You think I don't know what this is? Lies from the devil himself. Turning my boy into one of them." The word hung there, slurred with disgust. The slur Levi had heard hurled at protests downtown. The ones where rainbow flags waved like defiant middle fingers to the world. Tears stung Levi's eyes, hot as the embers, but he bit them back. He was 5'10" of wiry muscle from endless laps in the community pool, hair the color of wet sand falling into eyes the shade of Pacific storm clouds. At 16, he looked every bit the all-American kid. Straight-A student, quarterback on the JV team, the one who volunteered at the food bank every Sunday. But inside, he was a storm, churning with truths he'd only dared commit to paper. And now those truths were gone. Except for that last page, the one Isaiah had written, folded crisp as a love letter, declaring in looping script, "Levi, if words could build bridges, I cross 1,000 oceans for you. Yours, always Isaiah." It hadn't burned. By some miracle, or maybe the wind's whim, it had fluttered free just as the flames peaked, landing soft on the garage floor like a dove's wing. Levi's foot had nudged it under the workbench in the chaos, hidden from his father's rampage. But the journal, the vessel of his soul, was obliterated. Harlan released him with a shove, wiping his hands on his jeans as if touching Levi had soiled him. "Pack your shit." You're sleeping on the couch tonight. Tomorrow, we talk to Pastor Mike. We're fixing this, son. Before it's too late. Levi stumbled out into the drizzle that passed for rain in the Bay Area, the cool mist kissing his fevered skin like a balm. The streetlights hummed overhead, casting sodium glows on the row of identical craftsman houses, each with its American flag fluttering limp in the humidity. He was 3 blocks from Isaiah's place, a Victorian walk-up in the Haight-Ashbury district where Isaiah's mom ran a vintage bookstore that smelled of patchouli and forgotten dreams. Levi's phone buzzed in his pocket. Isaiah, probably texting about their plans for the weekend, a hike up Twin Peaks to watch the city sprawl like a glittering promise. But Levi couldn't answer. Not yet. His hands shook too hard, the burn on his palm throbbing in time with his pulse. He collapsed onto the curb, knees drawn to his chest, and let the sobs come, ugly, wrenching things that tore from his gut. Why now? Why tonight? He'd been so careful, taping the journal shut, hiding it like contraband. But Harlan had always been a hunter, sniffing out weakness like it was prey. Back in Texas, before the divorce that uprooted them to California, Harlan had been the king of barbecues and Little League, the dad who taught Levi to throw a spiral with a wink and a, "That's my boy." But Mom's leaving, citing his rages, his fists on walls when the oil rigs laid him off, had cracked something in him. California was supposed to be a fresh start, a place where the air tasted like possibility. Instead, it was just another cage. The fog thickened, swallowing the neighborhood, and Levi wondered if he could disappear into it. If he ran, where to? Isaiah's arms. Maybe, but that would make it real, drag Isaiah into the crossfire of Harlan's wrath. Isaiah, with his easy smile and skin like polished mahogany, the son of a single mom who'd marched in the pride parades since the 80s. He was out and proud, a junior at Lowell High, captain of the debate team, the one who quoted Auden in the hallways and kissed Levi behind the bleachers like it was the most natural revolution in the world. Their first kiss had been at last year's 4th of July fireworks over the Embarcadero, Levi's heart exploding brighter than the sky. "You're safe with me," Isaiah had whispered then, and Levi had believed him. But safety was a lie. Levi pulled out his phone, thumb hovering over Isaiah's name. "Can't talk." Dad found the journal. Burned it. He hit send before he could second guess, then powered off the device. The screen went dark, mirroring the void in his chest. Footsteps splashed through puddles, approaching, hesitant. Levi looked up, expecting a neighbor's nosy glance. But it was Isaiah, jacket zipped to his chin, curls damp and wild, eyes wide with the kind of fear that comes from loving someone on the edge. "Levi? Jesus. What happened?" Isaiah dropped to his knees, heedless of the wet pavement, pulling Levi into a hug that smelled of rain and home. Levi buried his face in Isaiah's neck, the sobs renewing, muffled against the wool of his scarf. He destroyed it. Everything I wrote about us. About you." Isaiah's arms tightened, a fortress against the night. "Hey, breathe. It's just paper. We're still here." But Levi shook his head, the words spilling out in a torrent, the fire, the prayers, the couch exile. Isaiah listened, jaw clenched, until Levi finished, then pressed a kiss to his temple. "Come home with me. Mom's got the guest room. You don't go back there tonight." Levi nodded, too drained to argue, and let Isaiah haul him up. They walked in silence, hands brushing accidental on purpose. The city a blur of neon signs and distant cable car bells. Isaiah's house was a beacon, porch light on, the faint strum of a guitar from the open window, Isaiah's mom, Lila, practicing her folk tunes. She took one look at Levi's tear-streaked face and pulled him inside without a word, wrapping him in a quilt that smelled of sage and old books. "Tea?" she offered, her voice a gentle lilt, dreads tied back with a bandana. Isaiah hovered, protective, until Lila shooed him to fetch mugs. Over chamomile steam, Levi spilled more, the build-up, the hiding, the fear that Harlan would never understand. Lila listened, nodding, her eyes soft with the wisdom of a woman who'd buried her own skeletons. "Your dad's scared, honey. Scared of losing the son he loves to a world he doesn't get. But fear ain't love, it's a chain. You break it, or it breaks you." Isaiah squeezed Levi's knee under the table, a silent vow. That night, curled in the guest bed with Isaiah's hand laced through his from the doorway, Lila's rule, no sneaking, Levi dreamed of fires that didn't consume, of pages rewriting themselves in the dawn. Morning came gray and unforgiving, coffee brewing in the kitchen like a truce. Isaiah drove Levi back in his beat-up Honda Civic. The radio tuned low to some indie station crooning about lost boys and found hearts. "We'll get through this," Isaiah said, parking a block from Levi's house to avoid Harlan's eagle eyes. "Text me after school? Meet at the pier." Levi leaned over the console, stealing a kiss that tasted like hope and hurt. "Yeah. Love you." Isaiah's grin was sunshine through clouds. "Love you more." School was a haze, algebra equations blurring on the board, whispers in the halls about the family drama, already leaking like oil spills. Levi kept his head down, doodling bridges in his notebook margins, bridges to nowhere, maybe. Lunch found him with Isaiah in their spot behind the gym, sharing a contraband bag of sour gummies. "What if he sends me away?" Levi murmured, popping one in his mouth, the tang sharp as regret. Isaiah shrugged, philosophical. "Then we run. Road trip to Big Sur. Sleep under the stars. My mom's got connections, could hook us up with a place in the Castro." It was half joke, half plan, but it warmed Levi like the gummies' afterburn. Afternoon practice was brutal. Coach barking drills, chlorine stinging Levi's eyes as he sliced through laps. Isaiah was on the diving team, all grace and arc, but today Levi couldn't watch. Every flip turn felt like drowning in Harlan's disappointment. By dismissal, his phone lit up, Pastor Mike at 6. "Be home." Levi's stomach nodded. He texted Isaiah, "Wish me luck." The reply was instant, "You're braver than you know. Call after." Home was a minefield. Harlan was in the living room, Bible open on his lap, the TV muted on some football rerun. "Sit," he commanded, voice flat as the bay. Levi perched on the edge of the recliner, palms sweating. Harlan closed the book with a thud. "I love you, boy. That's why this hurts. That thing you wrote about is sickness. But Pastor says there's healing. Groups, prayer. We'll beat it out of you." Levi's throat closed. "Beat it out? Like a stain on the carpet." "Dad, it's not a disease. It's me. Isaiah, he's..." Harlan's face darkened. "Don't say his name. Not in this house." The knock came at 6 sharp, Pastor Mike. All pressed khakis and concerned smiles. a folder of pamphlets under his arm. The session was a blur. Harlan nodding vigorously, Levi staring at the carpet fibers, Mike's voice droning about sin and salvation, the lifestyle choice that could be unchosen with enough faith. Levi mumbled agreements, his mind 1,000 miles away, on that pier with Isaiah, waves whispering freedoms Harlan couldn't touch. When Mike left, Harlan clapped him on the back. Too hard. See? Progress. Now eat. Tomorrow's a new day. But sleep evaded Levi. The guest rooms promise a ghost. He slipped downstairs at midnight, scavenging the fridge for leftovers, when his foot caught something under the fridge. A scrap, singed at the edges. His breath hitched. The last page. Folded tight, Isaiah's words intact. Levi, if words could build bridges. He clutched it to his chest, a talisman against the dark. And for the first time that day, he breathed easy. Weeks blurred into a fragile routine. Like walking a tightrope over the bay, Harlan's therapy sessions with Pastor Mike twice weekly, Levi's lies polished to a sheen, Isaiah's texts a lifeline in the dead of night. The journal's ghost haunted Levi. He'd started a new one, hidden in his gym bag, but the words came halting, scarred by the fire. Write like no one's watching, Isaiah urged during their stolen afternoons at the Golden Gate Park Conservatory, palms cupping orchids that bloomed defiant in the glass. Levi tried, sketching vignettes of their hands brushing in the crowd, Isaiah's laugh cutting through the conservatory's humid hush like sunlight. But Harlan watched. Oh. He watched, casual questions about that friend Isaiah. Rides to school rerouted to avoid the hate. The family Bible now propped on the kitchen table like a sentinel. Building character, Harlan called it, but Levi saw the bars closing in. Mom called from Austin once a week, her voice tinny through the landline, full of apologies she couldn't cash. Your dad's trying, baby. Give him time. Time for what? Levi wanted to scream. To love him as he was? Instead, he fed her half-truths, the ones that kept the peace. Isaiah became his anchor, their romance a quiet rebellion. Weekends were hikes in Muir Woods, redwoods towering like ancient guardians. Isaiah's fingers tracing Levi's knuckles as they sat on felled logs, sharing dreams over PB&J sandwiches. College, Isaiah said one October afternoon, leaves crunching copper underfoot. UCLA for me, film studies, make movies about kids like us. Levi leaned against him, bark rough on his back. And me, UC Berkeley, poli-sci. Change the world, one law at a time. Isaiah's kiss was slow, deliberate, tasting of trail mix and tomorrow. Together. Always, yet cracks formed. At school, rumors swirled. Someone had seen them at the pier, hands linked too long. Jocks in the locker room ribbed Levi with slurs disguised as jokes. Coach pulling him aside with a gruff, "Keep your head in the game, son." Isaiah faced it head-on. Out since freshman year. But Levi's closet was a half-open door, slamming in the wind. One night, after a particularly brutal session where Pastor Mike quoted Leviticus like a verdict, Levi snapped at Isaiah over burgers at In-N-Out. What if I can't do this? What if Dad's right? And it's just a phase I need to kill? Isaiah's eyes flashed, hurt flickering before stealing. A phase? Levi, this is us. Real as the fog rolling in. He reached across the sticky table, voice low. Remember the journal? You wrote me into your life. Don't erase that now. Levi recoiled, The words a knife. The journal gone, but its echo lingered. He nodded, mumbling sorries, but the seed of doubt took root, twisting in the dark. Thanksgiving loomed like a storm front, Harlan insisting on family time with turkey and trimmings. No distractions. Levi invited Isaiah as a buffer, a bold move that earned a curt nod from Harlan. One night, polite company. The dinner was a minefield. Harlan's toasts to traditional values, Lila's pointed stories of her pride floats, Isaiah's mom with her easy grace, passing the cranberry sauce like olive branches. Levi sat between them, sweat beading under his collar, Isaiah's knee a secret press against his under the table. It held barely. Until dessert, when Harlan, 3 beers in, launched into a monologue about the gays ruining the country, citing some Fox News clip about marriage equality. Lila's fork clattered. Harlan, that's my son you're slurring. Isaiah went still, hand finding Levi's in the shadows. Levi's pulse thundered. Dad, stop. The table froze. Harlan's gaze pinned him. What did you say? Levi swallowed. Isaiah's grip his courage. He's my boyfriend. And I love him. The words hung. A grenade with the pin pulled. Harlan's face purpled. Chair scraping back as he stormed to the garage. Echoes of that night. The fire. Lila gathered plates with trembling hands, murmuring comforts, but Isaiah pulled Levi aside in the hall. You did it. Holy shit. You did it. His kiss was fierce, celebratory, but Levi tasted ash. What now? Isaiah cupped his face. Now we fight. Together. The fallout was biblical. Harlan grounded Levi indefinitely. Phone confiscated. Doors locked at 9. Pastor Mike ramped up the sessions. Pamphlets on reparative therapy stacked like indictments. Levi snuck out twice, once to the pier, where waves mocked his whispers, once to Isaiah's window, climbing the fire escape for a night of tangled sheets and tear-streaked confessions. I can't lose you, Levi gasped. Isaiah's body a map he memorized in the moonlight. You won't, Isaiah promised, tracing tattoos of stars on Levi's shoulder. We're constellations. Unbreakable. Winter solstice brought snow, rare for the bay, a dusting that turned the city to hush. Levi's new journal filled with sketches. Harlan's furrowed brow, Isaiah's profile against the bridge's cables. He wrote of betrayal's sting, how love could be a wound and a salve. Christmas Eve. Harlan attempted amends, a wrapped football, Levi's old size, with a note, proud of my boy. Levi stared at it, the leather cool as a lie. He tucked Isaiah's page inside, the unburned vow a counterweight. New Year's dawned crisp. Resolutions whispered in Isaiah's bed as fireworks popped over the bay. This year, Isaiah said, nuzzling Levi's neck, we tell the world. Levi laughed. Shaky. One step at a time, but steps quickened. A GSA meeting at school. Levi's hand raised tentative in support circle. Isaiah beaming beside him. Harlan discovered the journal again. Hidden sloppier this time, ripping pages in a rage that left Levi with a split lip. No more, Harlan bellowed, blood on his knuckles from the wall he'd punched. Isaiah arrived minutes later, Lila in tow, demanding Levi pack a bag. He's staying with us till you cool off. Harlan's roar shook the frame house. Over my dead body, but Lila's glare was steel. Threaten my family again, and you'll meet the cops. Not God. Levi left with a duffel and the journal's remnants. Isaiah's arm around his waist as they drove into the night. The Castro welcomed them, rainbow crosswalks slick with rain, cafes buzzing with voices like theirs. Lila's bookstore became sanctuary. The guest room there's now. Posters of Harvey Milk tacked up like talismans. Spring unfurled tentative. Cherry blossoms dusting the park where Levi and Isaiah picnicked. Plotting futures. Road trip summer? Isaiah suggested. Feeding Levi strawberries. Route 66. But gay edition. Stops at every queer landmark. Levi grinned. Juice staining his lips. Deal. But Harlan lurked. Voicemails pleading repentance. A letter from Pastor Mike outlining camps in the Midwest. Levi burned it in the sink. Watching flames dance without regret. Your turn to destroy, Isaiah joked. But his eyes held worry. Prom loomed. A glittering gauntlet. Levi went stag on paper. Isaiah his shadow date. The gym transformed streamers and strobes. Kids in tuxes awkward as colts. They danced slow under dim lights. Bowie crooning heroes. Isaiah's breath warm on Levi's ear. This is us, he murmured. No hiding. A flash, someone's phone, and Levi tensed. But Isaiah spun him out, laughing. Let 'em see. The photo went viral at school Monday. 2 boys. Mid-twirl. Joy etched eternal. Harlan saw it. Called Levi's confiscated phone. Isaiah had slipped it back. Come home. We fixed this. Levi's voice cracked. No. Dad. You fix you. Click. Summer heat baked the city. Asphalt shimmering. Levi interned at a queer youth center. Counseling kids with eyes like his once were lost. Luminous. Isaiah filmed shorts. One starring Levi. A boy rising from ashes. Journal in hand. Walking toward light. For you, Isaiah premiered it at a backyard screening. Neighbors cheering under string lights. Harlan appeared uninvited. Face gaunt. Standing at the fence. Levi approached. Heart adrum. Son. Levi, he corrected. Harlan winced. Levi. Read the papers. The fire. I didn't know. The last page. Somehow salvaged. Returned by a neighbor's kid. Isaiah's words. Harlan's undoing. Harlan's confession hung in the summer air. Thick as the jasmine climbing Lila's trellis. But Levi felt no rush of forgiveness. Just a hollow echo. Like wind through burned pages. You read it. Levi's voice was steady. Schooled by months of group shares at the center. Where kids traded traumas like baseball cards. Harlan nodded. Eyes downcast. The Bible absent from his hands for once. Isaiah's words. About bridges. I thought it was all you. Poisoning yourself. But that boy, he sees you true. Isaiah hovered at the gate. Arms crossed. A sentinel in board shorts and a faded Ramones tee. His silence louder than any accusation. The party guests milled awkward. Pretending not to eavesdrop. Lila's friends from the bookstore. A cluster of drag queens nursing IPAs. The neighbor kid who'd found the page kicking dirt. Levi glanced at Isaiah, who gave a subtle nod. Your call. It doesn't change what you did. Dad. The fire. The camps you wanted to send me to. Harlan's shoulders slumped. The big man diminished. I was wrong. Scared. Your mom. She left because I couldn't bend. Didn't want that for us. A pause. Bro. Can we try? Coffee. Just talk. Levi hesitated. the journal's ghost whispering caution. But humanity tugged, the man who'd taught him to fish off the Texas docks, baiting hooks with stories of granddads long gone. One coffee. Neutral ground. Harlan's relief was palpable, a ghost of his old grin. He left with a clap on Levi's shoulder, gentle this time, and Isaiah pulled him close amid the resuming chatter. "Proud of you," he murmured, lips brushing Levi's temple. Brave as hell, the coffee shop was a no-valley haunt. Hipsters typing on Macs. Baristas calling orders with ironic flair. Harlan arrived early, nursing a black drip. No sugar, Levi's order. A small olive branch. They sat by the window, fog burning off to reveal blue sky, a rarity. Talk started stilted. School, Levi's straight A's. Harlan's new job at a solar panel farm, green energy, your generation's thing. Then, the minefield. "The journal," Harlan ventured, stirring absently. "I burned your heart." "I'm sorry, son." Levi, the name his name, not boy, landed soft. Levi traced the table's grain. It was more than words. It was me coming alive. With Isaiah. Harlan's jaw tightened, but he didn't flinch. "He's good to you," Levi nodded, a smile creeping. "The best." Stories spilled then. Isaiah's debate wins. Their hikes. The prom photo framed on Lila's mantle. Harlan listened. Really listened. No sermons interrupting. "I judged quick. Like they did me. After the divorce. Called me failure. Vulnerability. Cracked open." By refill, Harlan shared his own ghosts. A high school crush on a farm boy, buried deep under football pads and church hymns. Never acted. Thought it made me weak. Levi's breath caught. "It doesn't. It's human." Harlan's eyes misted. "Maybe. Pastor Mike. He's old school." I stopped going. Reading MLK instead, Love as Justice. Levi's heart twisted. Progress. Fragile as eggshell. They parted with a hug. Awkward, but real, and Levi texted Isaiah. "Coffee survived. He's trying." Isaiah's reply, "Miracles happen." Pier tonight? The pier was their ritual. Alcatraz a silhouette against sunset. Seals barking like applause. Isaiah waited with takeout burritos, wrapping Levi in a blanket stolen from Lila's shop. "Spill." Levi did, words tumbling like waves. Isaiah listened. Then, "Forgive him," Levi shrugged. "Not all at once. But yeah, maybe." Fall semester hit like a freight train senior year, applications stacking like kindling. Levi aced SATs, essays laced with his story, fire-forged resilience. Isaiah's film got festival buzz, a short on queer youth screened at Frameline. Harlan attended, uninvited but welcome, clapping polite in the back row. Post-screening, beers at a dive bar, Harlan's first with them. "Powerful," he grunted to Isaiah. "You captured him right." Isaiah's grin was megawatt. "He's easy to capture, but betrayal brewed, subtle as seismic rumbles." Lila's bookstore faltered, rent hikes, online giants gnawing at sales. She confided in Harlan over coffee runs, his solar steadiness a comfort. Whispers turned to visits. Harlan fixing shelves, Lila cooking tamales in thanks. Levi noticed. A twinge at first. Jealousy? No. Unease. Isaiah laughed it off. Good for them. Adults being weird. Thanksgiving Redux. Harlan hosted. Table groaning with turkey and Lila's cornbread. Toasts were tentative, laughter freer. Post-feast walk. Harlan pulled Levi aside. Seeing your mom next month. Talk divorce. Custody. Make it right for you. Levi's chest loosened. Thanks, Dad. But in the kitchen, catching Harlan's hand lingering on Lila's waist. Flirtation. Innocent. Doubt flickered. Winter deepened. Holidays a whirlwind. Isaiah and Levi's gift. Matching leather journals. Embossed with bridges. No more hiding, Isaiah said, inscribing the first page. Our story, unburned. Harlan's gift to Levi, a road atlas, Texas to California marked. Roots and wings, he said, eyes twinkling. New Year's at the Castro Bash fireworks. Drag brunches bleeding into midnight. Isaiah proposed a pact under the confetti rain. College together. Berkeley for you. SF State for me. Commute like pros. Levi sealed it with a kiss. Crowd cheering oblivious. But back home, Lila's now. Mostly, Levi found a note. Harlan inviting Lila to a Giants game. Friends, Levi asked Isaiah, stomach nodding. Or more, Isaiah shrugged. Let M figure. Spring betrayed first. Levi walked in on them, Harlan and Lila. In the bookstore's back room. Lips meeting soft. Hands tentative. Levi froze. Heart a stutter. Betrayal? No, his dad's happiness. Lila's glow. But Isaiah. Levi bolted. Finding him at the park. Scripting under an oak. Mom's dating your dad? Isaiah's laugh was bitter. Knew it. Saw the sparks at Thanksgiving. Levi paced. Is it weird? For us. Isaiah pulled him down. Grass tickling. Nah. Family remix. As long as you're mine. Prom 2 graduation formal. Tuxes and tears. They danced to Chapel Roan. Isaiah dipping Levi dramatic. Harlan snapping pics with Lila. Proud parents in sync. After party at the beach. Bonfire crackling. Levi's class toasting futures. Harlan pulled Isaiah aside. Levi watched. Wary. Words exchanged. Harlan's hand on shoulder. Approval? Isaiah returned beaming. He said, take care of my boy. Or else. Levi laughed. Relief flooding. Graduation dawned golden. Stadium packed. Caps like blackbirds. Levi's name called. Summa cum laude, Harlan whooping loudest. Lila filming. Isaiah catcalling. Diplomas in hand. They posed. Families merged. Bridges built. Summer road trip. Big Sur coast. Windows down. Springsteen blasting. Tents pitched on cliffs. Stars a canopy. One night. Around the fire. Isaiah knelt, ring simple. Silver band etched with always. Marry me? Someday. Levi's yes was a sob. Yes to forever. But Harlan's call mid-trip shattered. Lila and I. We're engaged. Joy. Then crash, Isaiah's face crumpling. Too fast. Mom's rebounding. Dad's projecting. Levi held him as waves crashed. We'll navigate. Betrayal's shadow. Not malice, but haste. Ripping scabs. Back home. Confrontation brewed. Isaiah stormed the bookstore. Levi trailing. Mom. What the hell? Lila's eyes welled. Love. Baby. Real. Harlan defensive. We clicked. After all the mess. Isaiah's voice broke. You burned his journal. How's that fixed overnight? Harlan paled. Working on it. Therapy. For real this time. The blow-up peaked at dinner. Plates flying metaphor. Words literal. Isaiah accused Harlan of opportunism. Lila of erasing Dad's memory. Levi mediated. Voice raw, stop. This family's messy, but it's ours. Silence fell. Then Harlan, I hurt you both. Won't happen again. Isaiah's glare softened. Fraction. Prove it. The engagement party was a tightrope gala. Lila's bookstore transformed with fairy lights and finger foods, a playlist of Motown mingling with Harlan's country twang. Levi manned the punch bowl, smile plastered, while Isaiah sulked in the poetry section, flipping Bukowski like it held answers. This is surreal, Levi whispered, sidling up. Isaiah's snort was half amused. Dad proposing to your mom with a cubic zirconia from K's? Peak American dream. But beneath the snark, hurt festered. Isaiah's dad gone 5 years. Cancer's thief. And now this whirlwind felt like replacement. Cheap and swift. Guests milled. Pastor Mike. Reformed and rainbow-pinned. Queer center volunteers toasting with Prosecco. Harlan's solar co-workers. Bemused but game. Lila glowed in a sundress. Harlan's arm possessive around her waist. Speeches flowed. Lila's on second chances. Harlan's on building from ashes. A nod to the journal that drew winces. Isaiah skipped his turn. But Levi stood. Glass raised. To messy loves that stick. And to us, figuring it out. Cheers. But Isaiah's eyes met his, hold me tonight. The wedding planning avalanche buried them. Venueless, budget-strapped, opinions clashing like cymbals. Levi and Isaiah escaped to Yosemite. Granite monsoons and pine-scented air. A reset amid bridal chaos. They hiked Half Dome at dawn. Chains slick with dew. Isaiah's hand steadying Levi's on the cables. Summit view. Valleys unfolding infinite. Perspective, Isaiah panted, pulling Levi close. From up here, the bullshit shrinks. They made love in the tent that night, urgent and tender, zips muffling moans, stars winking complicit. Back in the fray, tensions simmered. Isaiah clashed with Harlan over vows, no traditional crap, while Levi buffered Lila's tears. One night, post-argument, Isaiah cracked, what if they're right? What if love's just cycles of hurt? Levi's heart seized. Not ours, but doubt crept, a thief in the dark. College loomed, Berkeley for Levi, SF State for Isaiah, commutes promising, but distance a specter. Fall quarter kicked off frantic. Syllabi stacking, Levi's poli-sci seminars dissecting identity politics. Isaiah's film classes birthing shorts on fractured families. Weekends were theirs, picnic in Dolores Park. Joints past discreet, California legal. But Harlan's ghost loomed. Or drives to Point Reyes. Oysters and ocean salt. But wedding bells told discord. Isaiah boycotted fittings. Harlan accused him of sabotage. Kid's jealous, he grumbled to Levi over burgers. Losing his mom, Levi defended. Give him space. The breaking point snapped at the rehearsal dinner. A backyard affair under harvest moon. Isaiah arrived late, buzzed from pre-game shots with film buddies, toasting sloppy. To Dad 2.0, may he not burn any more diaries. Laughter died. Harlan's face thunder. Enough. The shove was instinct. Harlan's hand on Isaiah's chest, pushing back. Isaiah swung wild. Fist grazing jaw. Chaos. Lila screaming. Levi hauling Isaiah off. Guests scattering like leaves. In the aftermath, Isaiah crashed at a dorm buddy's. Levi pacing Lila's kitchen till dawn. He's spiraling, Lila sighed, brewing tea. Like his dad before the end. Anger masking grief. Harlan nursed a bruise. Pride more battered. I pushed too hard. Levi mediated a truce. Premarital counseling. Boundaries drawn. Isaiah returned contrite. Apologies scrawled in his journal. Sorry for the storm. Love you, Anchor. Winter wedding. City Hall. Intimate 12 guests. Rainbow officiant. Vows exchanged crisp. Lila's I choose joy. Harlan's I choose growth. Rings slid. Kisses sealed. Reception at the bookstore. Cake 3-tiered with edible books. Isaiah, sober and sharp in a velvet blazer, danced with Levi to At Last, whispering, they're us in 30 years flawed, fighting, full. Levi's yes was a vow renewed. Honeymoon for the newlyweds. Napa cabins, wine tastings and hot tubs. Levi and Isaiah tagged along for a weekend. Tents pitched nearby. A double date of sorts. Evenings by the fire. Stories swapped. Harlan admitting his high school crush again. Details spilling, stolen glances in the barn. A hand brushed never held. Regret's a bitch, he said, passing the flask. Isaiah softened. Mine too. Dad's sickness. I pushed him away at the end. Shared scars bonded. Tentative. Spring bloomed reconciliation. Isaiah's thesis film, Ashes to Bridges, premiering at a Castro theater, Harlan and Lila front row, tissues in hand. Q&A raw, Isaiah crediting family fuck-ups for the fire. Harlan stood post-screening, hugging him fierce. Proud, son. Both of you. The word son landed like grace. Levi's internship evolved to full-time at the center, counseling a kid named Theo, 17, journal hoarding, dad on the warpath. Echoes chilled, but Levi guided, write the truth. Burn the fear. Theo's smile, breakthrough, mirrored his own healing. Summer heat wave, family barbecue at Golden Gate Park, blankets spread, frisbees flying. Harlan grilled veggie skewers, Lila's influence, Isaiah DJing queer anthems. Post-meal, Harlan pulled Levi aside by the carousel. That page, Isaiah's. Kept it. Framed in my office. Reminder, Levi's throat tightened. Love you, Dad. Hug. Unreserved. But betrayal's whisper returned. Insidious. Lila confided. Harlan's ex. Texas oil buddy. Sniffing around old flames. Temptations. He's solid, she swore. But doubt seeded. Isaiah overheard. Paranoia flaring. History repeats? He burns us again, Levi soothed. But nights grew restless. Journals filling with what-ifs. Climax crashed Labor Day. Harlan's bachelor party redux. Boys' weekend in Tahoe. Isaiah begged off. But Levi went, bro time. Prove the bond. Lake swims. Poker bluffs. Beers by the dock. Midnight confession. Harlan, sloshed, admitted the ex-contact. One call. Curiosity. Told him no, I'm all in. Relief. Then Isaiah's text. Lila's crying. Ex showed up at the house. Levi's blood iced. Harlan's phone dead. Prank? No. Harlan white-faced. Fuck. Let's go. Drive back frantic. Levi white-knuckling. Home. Lila composed. Ex-gone, harmless drunk dial turned doorstep. But Isaiah seethed, packing a bag. Can't trust this circus. Levi blocked the door. Fight for it. For us. Isaiah's sob. What if it breaks us? Harlan burst in, groveling to Lila. Then Isaiah. I chose wrong once. Not again. Lila's ultimatum. Therapy. Transparency. Storm broke. Rainbow after. Couples counseling wove them tighter. Harlan and Lila recommitting. Levi and Isaiah vowing communication. Fall deepened bonds. Thanksgiving potluck. All hands in stuffing. One night. Journals swapped. Levi reading Isaiah's raw griefs. Isaiah Levi's fire-forged faiths. We're the last page, Isaiah said. Ink still wet. Unburnable. Autumn leaves carpeted the Presidio paths as Levi and Isaiah jogged the coastal trail. Breaths sinking to the rhythm of waves below. The city a distant hum. College midterms loomed. But this run was sacrament, sweat purging doubts. Endorphins a balm for the wedding's aftershocks. Think they'll last, Isaiah panted, dodging roots. Levi glanced back. Golden Gate span arcing graceful. Harlan and Lila? Yeah. Messy, but real. Isaiah's grin flashed. Like us. They collapsed at the overlook. Water bottles shared. Kisses salt-tanged. The center's holiday drive kept Levi buried. Toy drives for queer youth. Secret Santas masking deeper gifts. Journals, new and unscarred. Theo thrived. His own coming-out story a spark at the center's Yule Log event. Harlan volunteering punch alongside Lila. Awkward but earnest. Isaiah filmed it all. Lens capturing flickers of family. Harlan's laugh at a kid's pun. Lila's hand in his. Steady. Winter solstice circle at the center. Candles lit. Shares circling on loss and light. Levi spoke of the fire. Destroyed. But not me. Drawing nods. Harlan in the shadows listening unbidden. Post-event. Father-son walk. You kids. You're light, Harlan said, voice gruff. Levi's arm slung casual. Learned from the best. Harlan's chuckle rumbled. Flatterer. Christmas sprawled festive. Lila's tree twinkling with queer icons, milk ornaments, rainbow bulbs, gifts piled eclectic. Isaiah's to Levi, a leather-bound journal, restored with the original cover, pages fresh but spine etched with their bridge quote. Our sequel, he whispered, unwrapping. Harlan's joint gift, tickets to DC Smithsonian, monuments, a history lesson on fights won. See where we stand, he said. Eyes on Isaiah too. New Year's Eve. Castro streets alive. Fire dancers. Queer choirs caroling remixed carols. Family clustered. Harlan two-stepping clumsy with Lila. Isaiah and Levi swaying slow. Resolutions murmured. This year, Isaiah toasted at midnight. No more ashes. Kisses under fireworks. Promises etched brighter than stars. Spring semester surged. Levi's thesis on queer rights legislation. Isaiah's capstone a docu-series on blended families. Interviews laced with their own truths. Premiere night. Theater packed. Harlan fidgeting beside Lila. Popcorn clutched like talisman. Credits rolled. Applause thundered. Q&A raw. Isaiah crediting the folks who burned and rebuilt. Harlan's post-hug. That was us. On screen. Isaiah's nod. Bridge crossed. Graduation doubleheader. Berkeley Stadium for Levi. Poli-sci honors cord dangling. SF states green for Isaiah. Film reel in hand. Families swelled. Harlan whooping duel. Lila filming teary. Post-ceremony picnic. Blankets fused. Toasts blending. To last pages. Lila raised her glass, echoing Isaiah's script. Summer postgrad haze. Job offers. Levi at a San Francisco nonprofit. Advocacy lead. Isaiah freelancing docs. First gig a Pride feature. Apartment hunt. A sunny Castro walk-up. Views of the bay. Journals stacked on shelves like sentinels. Moving day. Harlan hauled boxes. Lila unpacked books. Laughter echoing empty rooms. Home, Isaiah said, painting walls sky blue. Levi's arms around him from behind. But humanity's arc bent gentle, not without shadows. Harlan's solar firm downsized. Stress fraying edges, late nights, snappish words. Lila confided worries. Levi mediating again. Isaiah scripting a short on blue-collar blues. One storm night. Harlan knocked frantic. Fought bad. Can I crash? Couch taken. Dawn coffee brewing amends. Loves work, he admitted. Isaiah sliding him a beer later. Learned that from you too. Theo's crisis hit summer's end. Dad found his journal. Threats of disown. Levi counseled late. Isaiah filming support group. Harlan offering his truck for a safehouse run. Resolution, Theo out. Family fracturing then mending, echo of their own. Cycle breaks. Levi told him. The unburned page in mind. Fall equinox hike, Twin Peaks summit. City sprawling patchwork below. Picnic unpacked, sandwiches. The old atlas from Harlan. Isaiah traced routes. Next adventure? Levi smiled. Anywhere with you. Below. Fog lifted, revealing bridges literal and not. 1 year post-fire anniversary. Private ritual at the garage, now Harlan's workshop. Tools gleaming. Candles lit, safely. Journals open. Harlan joined. Voice thick. To what endures? Isaiah's arm around Levi. Lila's hand in Harlan's, circle closed. Years folded forward. Levi's law school pursuit. Isaiah's indie film buzz. Weddings their own, vows under redwoods. Harlan walking Levi. Lila mothering Isaiah. Kids came later, adopted twins. Journals gifted at 5. Stories read of bridges and burns. Old age whispered. Harlan and Lila retired to a Mendocino cottage. Rocking chairs, creaking tails. Levi and Isaiah, silver-threaded, revisited the pier, waves eternal, hands linked. Last page, Isaiah asked. Wind whipped. Levi pulled the original. Faded, yours, always. We're writing it still. In the end, not tragedy but tapestry, woven from flames, mended with words. Love, unburned, the ultimate humanism. Flawed, fierce, forever.